The Galactic Council chamber was a marvel of interstellar architecture, an immense circular hall suspended within a translucent dome, offering a breathtaking view of swirling nebulae and distant stars. Dozens of species from across the galaxy filled the tiered seats, their varied forms and colors a testament to millennia of cosmic diversity. The air hummed with tension, like a storm gathering unseen. Captain Lena Voss stood at the center podium, the polished metal cold beneath her fingertips. Her sharp eyes scanned the assembly, feeling the weight of centuries-old prejudices pressing against her shoulders. Around her, the human delegation sat rigid, a collection of diplomats and ex-military officers who had learned the hard lessons of diplomacy in a galaxy that distrusted their kind. Zalthorum Valnex, the Vrixari elder who chaired the council, towered over the room. His scales shimmered in deep violet, eyes glinting with icy disdain as he tapped his clawed fingers on the gavel. "Order," he commanded. "We gather not to bicker like novices but to preserve peace. Yet the humans threaten all we have built with reckless demands." A murmur rippled through the chamber. Many species, especially those long dominant in the council, regarded humanity as a volatile upstart, half barbarian, half enigma. Earth's violent history and rapid military expansion made the council wary, fearful that humans would upset the delicate balance of power. Lena's voice cut through the growing clamor, steady and clear. "Fear is the oldest weapon of control," she said, eyes locking onto Zalthorum's. "Humanity does not seek chaos, but fairness. We ask only for the rights promised to every sentient species, equal access to resource sectors, the freedom to develop our defenses, and respect as partners in this council." Zalthorum's lips curled into a disdainful sneer. "Rights are granted by merit and wisdom, Captain Voss. Your people have neither proven themselves worthy nor trustworthy. The Council's regulations stand to prevent your expansion from becoming a threat." A sharp retort came from one of the human delegates, Ambassador Raj Singh. "And yet, these regulations serve only to keep us confined, controlled like caged beasts. We have obeyed the laws, but our patience wears thin." The elder's gaze hardened. "Then you test the Council's patience with threats and ultimatums?" "Not threats," Lena replied evenly. "A refusal to be silenced or marginalized." From the far side, murmurs escalated into outright hostility. Vrixari representatives hissed, the Draxians crossed their many arms, and a chorus of alien voices demanded silence. The chamber teetered on the edge of chaos. Zalthorum slammed the gavel down. "Enough! This meeting is adjourned until you can present reason instead of defiance." But Lena remained standing, voice rising with resolve. "We will not return until our demands are met. Humanity walks away from a council that refuses equality." A stunned silence fell. Then, a shockwave of reactions, gasps, growls, and whispers of disbelief. Some delegates looked to one another, uncertain. Others nodded in grim approval. The walkout was unprecedented, a declaration that shook the very foundations of the council. Lena turned to her team. "Prepare the ships. We leave the station immediately." Outside the chamber, tension spilled into the corridors. The once orderly diplomatic hub now buzzed with panic and speculation. Security forces mobilized, and whispers of impending conflict spread like wildfire. Ambassador Singh approached Lena quietly. "This move will change everything. Are we ready for what comes next?" Lena's eyes burned with determination. "We don't have a choice. Either we stand firm now or live forever under others' control. It's time the galaxy learned that humans do not break." As the human delegation moved toward their ships, shadows shifted among the council members. Not all shared Zalthorum's hardline stance. Some quietly exchanged coded messages, sensing opportunity amid the chaos. In her quarters later, Lena reviewed the transcripts of the day's debates. The council's rejection was a symptom of deeper rot, a fear of change, of losing control. Yet, it was also a call to action. A knock at the door startled her. It was Eric's, a rare ally among the alien diplomats, a member of the enigmatic Seraphis, known for their neutrality and insight. "You risk war," Eric said softly. "But you also offer hope. The galaxy watches, Captain." How you lead now will define humanity's place. Lena nodded, tired but resolute. Then we fight with words and, if necessary, with strength. We will not back down. As her ship powered up, the view of the Council station faded behind her, a symbol of fractured alliances and looming upheaval. The walkout was more than protest, it was a challenge to an ancient order. The galaxy would never be the same. The dim glow of distant stars filtered through the viewport of the Sentinel, the human flagship now hurtling away from the Galactic Council station. Inside, the atmosphere was tense but purposeful. Captain Lena Voss stood at the command console, watching as the Council's orbiting hub shrank into the blackness of space. The Council's fractures are deeper than we anticipated, she said quietly, eyes still on the fading station. Zalthorum won't relent, and others won't follow blindly. Her second-in-command, Commander Jalen Riker, a veteran pilot with a calm demeanor, approached. There are rumors, Captain. Some factions see this as a chance to destabilize the Council entirely. Lena didn't turn, voice steady but sharp. We've poked a hornet's nest. But this crisis isn't just about humans. It's about a galaxy terrified of change. The ship hummed with activity. Diplomatic channels buzzed with encrypted messages, reports filtering in from scattered allies and informants. Among the Council, divisions deepened, whispers of rebellion, of shadowy deals, of saboteurs eager to stoke conflict. In the communications room, Ambassador Raj Singh tapped a console, pulling up intercepted transmissions. Listen to this, he said, voice low but urgent. A coded exchange between two Vrixari delegates. They're discussing weapon shipments to a rogue faction. This isn't just political theater, it's preparation for war. Lena's brow furrowed. A provocation designed to force humanity's hand. They want us to retaliate so they can paint us as aggressors. Singh nodded grimly. And some members of the Council are complicit. They see this as an opportunity to crush the human threat once and for all. The implications were clear. The fragile peace was crumbling, manipulated by those who feared the ripple effects of human defiance. Later, in a secure briefing room, Lena gathered her closest advisors. The mood was grim but resolute. We cannot wait for the Council to decide our fate, Lena said. We must act decisively. Our next moves must be strategic, diplomatic outreach to potential allies, intelligence gathering, and readiness for conflict if provoked. A sharp voice interrupted. Captain, what about the recent attack on the EOS supply vessel? It was sabotaged in a neutral sector. Casualties confirmed. Lena's gaze hardened. Exactly. This attack changes the stakes. It proves the threat is real and escalating. We must respond carefully but firmly. Jalen Riker added, our patrols will increase. We'll protect our shipping lanes. But retaliation must be measured. We cannot play into their hands. Ambassador Singh chimed in, I've reached out discreetly to delegates from the Orlani and Seraphis factions. They're sympathetic but cautious. They want assurances the humans seek peace, not conquest. Lena considered. We need a show of strength and good faith. A delicate balance. The days that followed were a blur of strategy sessions, encrypted communications, and restless nights. Lena's mind churned with every fragment of intelligence, every subtle shift in the political landscape. Her determination never wavered. One evening, Erix, the Seraphis diplomat, joined her in the command lounge. His serene, almost ethereal presence was a stark contrast to the tension. The galaxy is a cauldron ready to boil, Erix observed. You walk a razor's edge, Captain. Your actions echo far beyond your people. Lena nodded, swirling the dark liquid in her cup. If we fail, humans become outcasts or worse, targets. But if we succeed, we reshape the Council's future. Erix's gaze was steady. Allies are scarce but precious. Trust must be earned. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alert. The tactical officer's voice cut through the comm. Captain, unidentified vessel approaching at high speed. No transponder signals. Lena's eyes narrowed. Prepare for interception. Ready non-lethal countermeasures first. We need answers, not another war. As the Sentinel closed in, the mysterious ship's hull shimmered with unfamiliar technology, a sleek design not registered in any known databases. A voice crackled over the comms, distorted but clear. "Human vessel, this is the Vigil. We have urgent information concerning the Council's internal sabotage. Requesting immediate parley." Lena exchanged a glance with Singh. "Bring them aboard." Minutes later, the Vigil docked. The ship's sole occupant emerged, a tall, wiry figure clad in nondescript armor, face obscured by a visor. The visitor spoke rapidly. "I am Kale, an independent operative formerly aligned with the Council's intelligence branch. The sabotage you face is orchestrated by a coalition within the Council itself, aiming to ignite war and justify a purge of human influence." Lena studied him intently. "Proof?" Kale handed over encrypted data drives. "These contain communications and operation orders. They implicate high-ranking officials who fear the consequences of your demands." Ambassador Singh immediately set to work decoding. The room thickened with tension. "This is explosive," Singh said after minutes of scanning. "If revealed, it could fracture the Council irreparably." Lena's mind raced. "We must be cautious. Exposed too soon, and we risk alienating potential allies. Hold back, and the attacks will continue." Kale's voice was grim. "You have enemies within who will act to silence you. Trust no one blindly." That night, Lena stood on the observation deck, staring into the void. The stars seemed colder now, indifferent to the political machinations threatening countless lives. Jalen joined her. "You carry the weight of an entire species." She met his gaze. "It's not just survival. It's about respect, about proving that humanity can be more than a footnote in galactic history." He nodded. "We'll need every ounce of resolve. And allies." As the Sentinel set course for a secret rendezvous point, Lena knew the battle ahead was no longer just about diplomacy. It was a war of shadows, of secrets, lies, and the fight to define humanity's place among the stars. The game had changed. And so had the stakes. The Sentinel slipped through the star-studded void toward the remote system known only by its coordinates, an unclaimed territory far from prying eyes. Here, Lena hoped to meet with the Orlani envoy, a key to tipping the fragile balance in humanity's favor. Inside the war room, the atmosphere was tense but electric. Holomaps flickered with shifting alliances, encrypted channels buzzed with incoming reports, and every face was drawn tight with purpose. Ambassador Raj Singh stood over a console, running a low-frequency transmission. Orlani delegates remain non-committal, but their fears of council backlash are real. They demand proof of our resolve. Lena folded her arms. "We'll give them more than words. We show them strength and a plan for peace." Commander Jalen Riker leaned forward, voice low. "But if the Council's secret coalition learns of this meeting, they might act to sabotage it. Our enemies aren't just external." The captain nodded slowly. "That's what Kale warned us. We're targets within and without." Suddenly, the communications officer's alert broke through the murmurs. "Incoming encrypted message from the Seraphis diplomat, Eric's." Lena gestured to open the transmission. The hologram flickered to life, Eric's serene figure floating before them. "Captain," he began, voice steady but tinged with urgency, "the Council's loyalists are mobilizing. They see your outreach as rebellion. Sabotage attempts will escalate. I advise extreme caution." Lena's eyes darkened. "Thank you, Eric's. We must proceed, but not blindly." The Sentinel altered course slightly, edging closer to the rendezvous. In the briefing room, tensions flared as voices debated the risks. Ambassador Singh argued, "If we pull back now, we lose momentum and credibility. But a misstep could isolate us completely." Jalen added, "Every ally counts. The Orlani and Seraphis hold sway over critical council votes. Without them, we face condemnation and possible blockade." Lena raised a hand, silencing the room. "Our strength lies in unity. We must show the galaxy that humanity is not just a threat but a partner willing to stand firm and build. Hours later, in the dim glow of the neutral meeting station, Lena's delegation waited. The Orlani envoy arrived, a lithe figure with iridescent skin and eyes that reflected shifting colors. "Captain Voss," the envoy said, voice cautious, "the Council's turmoil puts us all at risk. Your actions challenge the status quo. Yet, your cause merits attention." Lena stepped forward. "We seek partnership, not dominance. The Council's refusal to acknowledge humanity's rightful place endangers all peace." The envoy's gaze flickered. "There are those who would see your species crushed before the Council can change. We must act carefully." Their dialogue was interrupted by a security alert. "Hostile vessel detected, closing fast," a guard announced. Lena's pulse quickened. "Prepare defenses. This meeting is no longer just diplomatic." Outside, the Sentinel's sensors locked onto a squadron of sleek warships, unmarked, cloaked until moments ago. The Council's Shadow Coalition had found them. Jalen's voice was steady as the crew braced. "Tactical teams to stations. Non-lethal engagement protocols first. We want to survive this with evidence." The battle erupted in bursts of light and energy. The Sentinel maneuvered expertly, dodging salvo after salvo. Lena coordinated with cold precision, issuing orders that combined military discipline with strategic restraint. Amidst the chaos, Lena's comm crackled. "Captain, the Orlani envoy has been taken hostage aboard one of the enemy ships." Her stomach clenched. "Can we track their signal?" "Weak, but stable," the tactical officer replied. "We have a narrow window to mount a rescue." Lena made a quick decision. "Jalen, assemble a boarding team. We retrieve the envoy or risk losing our most valuable ally." The boarding craft blasted toward the enemy cruiser under heavy fire. Inside, Lena's team moved with precision, neutralizing guards and hacking security systems. The hostage was found, disoriented but alive. "Thank you," the envoy whispered. "The Council's divisions run deeper than you realize." Back on the Sentinel, Lena convened a crisis meeting. "This attack is a declaration. They fear change enough to ignite war." Singh added, "But their aggression exposes their desperation. We must use this to rally the undecided factions." Eric's voice came over the comm again, somber. "I can offer safe passage for your allies who wish to stand with you. The Seraphis will not abandon a cause so vital." Lena allowed herself a brief nod of gratitude. "Then we move forward, united or not. Humanity will not back down." That night, alone in her quarters, Lena reflected on the day's events. The fight was no longer abstract politics, it was a battle for survival, for identity. She keyed a message to the Council: humanity extends a hand, not a fist. Let us prove peace is possible. But deep inside, she knew words alone would not be enough. The stars beyond were silent witnesses to a galaxy on the brink, and a human captain ready to face whatever came next. The Sentinel cut through the cold silence of space, its course set toward the heart of the Galactic Council's core systems. What had begun as a diplomatic mission had spiraled into a precarious standoff, one that might ignite open conflict or force a fragile peace. Captain Lena Voss stood before the command console, tension etched into every line of her face. The encrypted data Kale had delivered was now fully decrypted, a damning web of conspiracies implicating several council delegates in sabotage, assassination attempts, and efforts to provoke war with humanity. "We're sitting on a powder keg," Ambassador Singh said, his voice heavy. "If this leaks prematurely, the council will fracture beyond repair. Worse, it could trigger all-out war." Lena's gaze didn't waver. "Then we choose how to ignite the fuse." Jalen Riker, ever pragmatic, leaned forward. "We need a decisive move. Evidence in hand, we demand a formal hearing at the Council's highest assembly. Public. Transparent. If they refuse, it exposes them." Singh nodded slowly. "That risks everything but could force their hand." The captain turned to her team. "Prepare the presentation. We bring the truth to light." The days that followed were a whirlwind of preparation. Diplomatic envoys gathered aboard the Sentinel, allies from the Orlani and Seraphis factions, their faces etched with worry and determination. Each understood the stakes: expose the rot within the council or risk endless bloodshed. At the same time, covert messages warned of assassins and sabotage. The Sentinel's security tightened, every corridor, every system was monitored. One evening, as Lena reviewed the final evidence, a soft chime signaled an incoming communication. The screen flickered to life, revealing Kale's grim visage. "Captain, I've uncovered something else. The Coalition's plans extend beyond politics. They intend to seize control of the Council's military assets once chaos erupts." Lena's jaw clenched. "We must act fast. This isn't just about survival anymore, it's about stopping a coup." Kale's voice lowered. "I've arranged for key insiders to testify with you. But trust will be a scarce commodity." "Then we earn it," Lena replied. When the Sentinel arrived at the Council's orbital chamber, the atmosphere was electric. Delegates from dozens of species packed the vast hall, whispers swirling like a storm. Lena's voice, calm but resolute, echoed through the chamber as the presentation began. Holographics displayed intercepted transmissions, detailed accounts of sabotage, and names of conspirators. Murmurs grew to shouts as the evidence dismantled long-held assumptions. Some delegates gasped, others hardened their stances. The room fractured. Those loyal to the Coalition accused Lena of treason, while others called for justice. Amid the uproar, Ambassador Singh stepped forward. "This is not a call to war but a demand for truth. For the survival of all." The head of the council, a towering figure named Vexel, banged a gavel. "Order! We will investigate these allegations thoroughly. No violence." But behind the facade of order, Lena sensed the storm wasn't quelled. Coalition operatives slipped away in shadows, their intentions clear. That night, the Sentinel's security detected an intruder, an assassin sent to silence the human captain. A tense confrontation ensued, fought in silence amid the ship's labyrinthine corridors. Lena and Jalen cornered the attacker. "Why kill now?" she demanded. The assassin's voice was cold. "Because your truth threatens us all." With swift precision, the threat was neutralized, but the warning was unmistakable: the war for the Council's soul had turned deadly. The next day's session was interrupted by a sudden power outage, plunging the chamber into darkness. When systems restored, key Coalition delegates were missing, escaped or abducted. Chaos erupted. Calls for emergency measures, lockdowns, and security sweeps filled the air. Lena stood firm. This is a turning point. The Council must either embrace transparency or descend into civil war. She reached out once more to the Orlani envoy. "Your people must decide where they stand, on the side of truth or conspiracy." The envoy's reply was measured but clear. "We stand with peace, Captain. But peace requires sacrifice." In the days that followed, a fragile alliance formed. Delegates willing to purge corruption joined forces with humanity. The Shadow Coalition's power waned as evidence in unity grew. The Sentinel became a beacon of hope amid the turmoil, a symbol that even in the darkest hours, resolve and truth could prevail. On the final day of the assembly, Lena addressed the Council again. "The galaxy faces a choice. We can let fear and hatred destroy us or forge a future built on trust and cooperation." Her words echoed through the chamber, stirring a cautious optimism. As the Council voted to initiate reforms and root out conspirators, Lena felt the weight of the journey settle. It was only the beginning, but humanity's stand had shifted the tide. The stars beyond the chamber windows shone a little brighter.